Yeah, that's a big one. Oh, say, can you see? Good morning, Las Vegas. You're listening to KLYN 90.3 FM, also streaming live on YouTube and also on Facebook. So and maybe one of these days we'll start streaming off of our website. I don't know if that'd be a plus or not, but somebody asked me the other day if we did it. 21 degrees here in Las Vegas, New Mexico. It's 35 degrees in Huntsville, Alabama. We have a current humidity of 53%. And we have clear skies here, and it's cloudy down the road in Huntsville. We are in the 6th chapter of the book of Exodus this morning and welcoming you to our study and going through it verse by verse, chapter by chapter. A couple of things before we get into Exodus chapter 6. Thank you, Dana Burns, for setting up my new weather station. So instead of, I look at different weather sites for 87701. I'm getting different readings. And I say, wait a minute. How could you guys be that far off? So we went and we spent the money. Oh, it was hard, but we spent it anyway. Stop laughing. And now it's connected up. And hopefully it stays connected up. That's another thing. Other than that, I was reading. I'm telling you, I have to throw this out. I mean, my grandfather was a meat cutter. My dad was a meat cutter. All of us boys in the house were meat cutters, okay? And I'm looking at a at a headline that says one of the tastiest cuts of beef is rarely ever purchased. Beef cheeks, really cheeks. It's meat that comes from the cheek of the cow. That stuff is tougher than leather, dude. Okay. We'll let them have their. And you don't even find it at the store. I've never seen beef cheeks at the store, but whatever. Where do these guys get this stuff from? Anyway, we have people with us already, like Jennifer, like Jeff from Huntsville, Alabama. That's where we're getting our information from. Jody's with us. Dana's with us. Andrea's with us. And she says it's 24 degrees in the metropolitan area of El Weekend, New Mexico. That'll make some of you take your map out and try to find out where this whole thing is. Anyway, let's get into it. And today might be a short day. We might have to cut off at 7 o'clock. I am looking at having to go work at the coffee shop today if one of my employees doesn't fill in the shift. So that's just some of the things that we put up with here at KLY and Cornerstone Church and the Mark Size world. Then the Lord, then Yahweh. Now, I've always had this pretty much deal, okay? Why is it? Now, okay, YHWH is how the Hebrew people have used to signify the name of God. Now, we know that the Hebrew language does not use, they do not use vowels. Okay, they have, it's I don't know. You figure it out. Let me know. Anyway, the way that is pronounced is Yahweh. And we know that the Hebrew people, for many, many, many generations, have not pronounced the name. That's why when you get into our English Bibles, you see the Lord. But really, when it's in all caps, it's YHWH, Yahweh. And I don't know where the English people that translated the Bible from Hebrew and from Aramaic and from Greek didn't think that we had enough sense to. Anyway, they put the Lord in caps, and I still have a problem with that. Now, where we are at is Moses is going to Pharaoh. This is the time. This is it. This is round one of a strategic, earth-shaking, and even beyond into and this. Yeah, even beyond this earth. This is a battle that is throughout all of the first, the second, and the third heaven. A battle that's going on. Egypt has God's people in slavery. And you know what God is saying? Set my people free. You thought that was just something that the black church said. No, siree. They got it from the Bible. And they wanted freedom. And we want freedom. And we realize that we are slaves to sin until we come into the freedom of the death, the burial, and the resurrection of Christ Jesus, and that he paid the price for us, and there is grace for us that we can receive. So, Kathleen, good morning. How are you doing this morning, Kathleen? So Yahweh said to Moses, now you shall see what I will do to Pharaoh. Without going to the previous chapter, we are reminded that the people of Goshen land confront Aaron and Moses when they come out of talking to Pharaoh and saying, listen, it's your fault that we're having to get straw. It's your fault that we're having to still produce the same amount. It's the oppressive hand of Pharaoh is coming. Wait. Did not the people pray to God? Well, Moses was still in the wilderness, so whose fault really is it? Well, we didn't expect for there to be a little bit of pressure. We expected it just to be, that's what you get. You want deliverance or not? You really want. God promises deliverance. Headline over the 6th chapter of the book of Exodus. Deliver us from evil. You want real deliverance? You want full deliverance? It is there, but how bad do you want it? Then the Lord Yahweh said to Moses, now you shall see what I will do to Pharaoh. And God is speaking to Moses. God is giving him, there's a disadvantage that Pharaoh has here. Because God knows exactly what he's going to do, not just maybe, exactly what's going to do and exactly what's going to happen before it happens. I don't know if Moses understands that. I don't know if Aaron is on board with that. Surely the elders and a lot of the people in Goshen are starting to weaken when it comes down to what God is saying, because Moses and Aaron came and spoke to the elders. The elders spoke to the people and said, God's going to set us free. But there's the battle. There's the in-between. Many times we love the bookends. We love the beginning of the story and the end of the story, but we don't like in the middle many times. And I want to tell you what, be strong. Fear not, for the Lord thy God is with thee. Good morning, Yolanda. It's a battle, ladies and gentlemen. And what's at the other side of the bookshelf is so sweet and so good, so everything that you ever wanted. But you gotta struggle. You gotta go through it. And the people of Israel that are in Goshen, that know that this is not their permanent place, that God has a place for them. And we're going to see this for a long time. We're going to be in many chapters looking at these people and their reaction. And it's just reflective of my reaction many times. Oh God, please. Now you shall see what I will do to Pharaoh, the Lord said to Moses. For with a strong hand he will let them go. With a strong hand he will drive them out of this land. He says, I'm going to tell you, Moses, what's going to happen. Pharaoh is going to push you guys out of here. Okay, well, let's do it now. Wait a minute. We got some spiritual warfare. We got to tear down some principalities and powers before we go, if you want this to be a real deliverance. And God spoke to Moses and said to him, I am Yahweh. Verse 2. I appeared to Abraham, to Isaac, and to Jacob as God Almighty, but my name, Yahweh, was not known to them. He says, I appeared to them as Elohim, the Lord, the Lord of Lords, the God of all the gods, the King of all the kings, both in this realm and in the heavenly realm. I appeared to Abraham, to Isaac, and to Jacob as God Almighty. That's how they knew me. Oh, he's all powerful. He's all knowing. He's all present. He's the catechism God. But he says, my name, Yahweh, was not known to them, but I have revealed my name to you. And when Pharaoh asks you who I am, you tell him, I am Yahweh. I have also established my covenant with them to give them the land of Canaan, the land of their pilgrimage in which they were strangers. Now, if we really stop and absorb what God is saying, there's always the promise that is there, okay? And he reminds Moses, and I'm guessing Aaron's with him at the same time, that he's established a covenant. He says, I appear to your patriarchs. I was going to say to their father, but they're not that father of Moses. We're talking about generations later. We're talking about, I appeared to Abraham, to Isaac, to Jacob as God Almighty, but my name, Yahweh, was not known to them. He says, I have established my covenant with them. We talk about covenant many times here on the early morning program because you have to understand that we even go to our church services and we say, this is the new covenant. What is covenant? Covenant is the promise from God that he will not relent. And we put our faith in the covenant. We put our faith, listen, as believers, as Christians, as his sons and his daughters, we put our faith in his virgin birth. We put our faith that he lived a sinless life. Because that's the covenant that he sealed with his blood when he shed it on Calvary. And his body was broken for us, and then he died, but he rose again from the dead to the completion of the covenant. And then he says, and I'll be back. I ain't even finished. I'll be back one of these days. The book ends. How about the in-between? And we were in the between the time that he rose up into heaven, the ascension, into the time that he's coming back again. And everybody's saying, Jesus, come today. Come. No. Jesus, you come when it's time to come. You know when it's the right time to come. Exactly, Jody. Sometimes we don't like the method. How about many times we don't like the method? But we must trust God's process. And he promised, in the covenant is the promise to give them the land. I have something for you. I have land that I'm going to give. You have a place. This world is not your home. You're just a stranger. You're just an alien. You're just a passing through, according to the book of Hebrews. He says, this, I have a place for you. Now, the Hebrew people were looking for a tract of land on the east coast of the Mediterranean. We are looking for a better land, an eternal land. Oh, and there's a covenant and a promise that God has given us. And there's battle along the way. You think the devil's just going to go home and just crawl back into his hole and just say, oh, well, I guess, I lost on the cross. I lost in the resurrection. No, he says, I'm going to take as many down with me as I can. I'm going to lie. I'm going to steal. I'm going to cheat. I'm going to do whatever I can. I have also established my covenant with them to give them the land of Canaan, the land of their pilgrimage, in which they were strangers. Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob were strangers in that land. They were just sojourners, I think is the fancy word. They were just alien strangers. They were just going back and forth, walking up and down and say, God's gave us this land. Oh, yeah, well, why are the Canaanites and the Hittites and the Hivites and all the Ite brothers, why are they all living there if this is your land? God's given us this land. God's given us this land. And he says, and I'm going to give. Now, watch from Abraham, Isaac, Jacob. Then we had 70 people go into Goshen. Now, all of these years later, we have more than 70. We have hundreds of thousands of people. We have not just a family. We have a congregation. We have a nation. We have the firstborn, because God calls Israel his firstborn son, meaning he has other sons to go along with it. Thank you, Jesus. I have also established my covenant with them to give them the land of Canaan, the land of their pilgrimage, in which they were strangers. They just walking through the land, but by faith they knew that I had promised, and my promises are good. If you can't wrap your faith around the promises of God, you're wrapping it in something else. Well, I don't have faith. Yes, you do. You have faith, because to each and every one of us has been given a measure of faith. And you're putting your faith in something. Maybe some silver and gold, like we've been talking about on the early morning program. If you're putting your faith in silver and gold right about now, you're not too happy. But if you know that God has a plan and a purpose, and you know that he has promises exceeding great in promises, and you know that God has promised that he will take care of those who take care of him, silver and gold don't make that much of a difference. Selah singing, his eye is on the sparrow.
Why do I feel discouraged? Why do the shadows come? And why does my heart feel lonely and long for heaven and home? When Jesus is my portion, a constant friend is he. His eye is on the sparrow, and I know he watches me. His eye is on the sparrow, and I know he watches me. So I sing because I'm happy, and I sing because I'm free. Yeah, his eye is on the sparrow, and I know he watches me. So I sing because I'm happy, and I sing because I'm free. Yeah, his eye is on the sparrow, I know he watches, and I know he watches
30 minutes after the hour. Time for us to get into our weather report. 21 degrees is our current temperature. It's actually 21.2 degrees out there. Humidity at 53%. Winds are calm. Looking for a high today, though, of 58 degrees with sunny skies. South wind 5 to 10, becoming southwest 10 to 15 this afternoon. And hasn't the weather been pretty darn nice? Maybe a little bit too dry, but hey, those minus degrees don't sit with me too much. Sunny tomorrow, high near 48 degrees. Northeast wind around 10 miles per hour, turning to the south in the afternoon. And on Thursday, sunny, high near 62 degrees. North wind 5 to 10 miles per hour. Looking at the 7-day weather forecast, it looks like 60s all the way up to Sunday. We will keep you advised the best we can here at KLYN, and we will use our little weather station. Thank you, Dr. Burns, for setting it up. Now, what is the battle cry? We're going to hear what the battle cry is. What is the battle cry? The battle cry coming from heaven to Pharaoh is set my people free. That's the battle cry. You don't like the battle? Wait till you get to the other side of the bookshelf and you stand victorious. And you got the trawl in one hand and you got the sword in the other, and you're not just fighting, but you're building at the same time. Might be a little scarred. Might have a few dents in your helmet. But you say, oh, my God. There's nothing like victory, man, in Jesus. Nothing like victory. I have established my covenant with them to give them the land of Canaan, the land of their pilgrimage, in which they were strangers. And I have heard the groaning, verse 5, chapter 6, the book of Exodus. I have also heard the groaning of the children of Israel, whom the Egyptians keep in bondage, and I have remembered my covenant. Tell you here this morning. I tell you this morning that God hears the groaning of his people. We are entering into a time, ladies and gentlemen, where God is going to begin to move in a tremendous way. Why? Because he hears the groaning of the children. Oh, thank you so much. Somebody out over there, I think it was Andrea. Yeah, it was Therefore, say to the children of Israel. Wait, first of all, verse 5. I have heard the groaning of the children of Israel, whom the Egyptians keep in bondage, and I have remembered my covenant. There it is. Okay, I don't know if we have to say much more about that, because we said about it already. They were in bondage, they were in slavery, and they were groaning, and that's what started this whole process, was the groaning. But there's the battle, there's the, I'm telling you, that devil, he just don't give up. He just doesn't roll over and die. He just doesn't say, well, I guess we got to go. No, I'm telling you. There's a battle. And it's won already. This is a mop-up operation that we are living. The blood has been shed, ladies and gentlemen. The cry to the tomb says, arise, my son, has already been spoken. The Spirit of God has been poured out upon the church. Therefore say to the children of Israel, I am the Lord. I am Yahweh. You tell the children of Israel, I am Yahweh. And I will bring you out from under the burdens of the Egyptians. I will rescue you from their bondage. I will redeem you with an outstretched arm and with great judgments. He says, I am going to do it. This is God speaking to Moses to speak to the people. The people are breaking down under the heavy hand, and you can't blame them. You really can't blame them up to a point, ladies and gentlemen. But there's a time that you have to allow that spark to start the fire deep down within you and say, God is able to do it. Which God have you been praying to? Which God have you been crying out to, O Hebrew, out there in Goshen? What God have you been crying out for deliverance? You tell the children of Israel that I am Yahweh. Give them my name. I will bring you out from under the burdens of the Egyptians. I will rescue you from their bondage. I will redeem you from an outstretched arm with great judgments. Oh, I think they were having a hard time hearing that. Probably because they're working dusk to dawn, probably because they got so many things going on, just trying to keep some food on the table. But there's always a time to listen. He who has an ear, let him hear what the Spirit says unto the church. And this is the church. Somewhere in the Pentateuch, you're going to find out that this is called the church in the wilderness. The congregation of God in the wilderness. And Moses, he's just God's pastor for it. You want to know about pastoring? I think Jody even brought this up yesterday. You want to know what pastoring is all about? Study the life of Moses. You look at the New Testament, it doesn't talk a lot about pastoring. It doesn't. Why? Because Moses has it all covered. You want to see? And watch out at the end. Let's finish well. Or else they take you up to the hill and say all you can do is look over. Anyway, we'll be there one of these days. I'm going to rescue you from your bondage. I'm going to redeem you. I will redeem. You know what it means to redeem? He says, I will redeem you. I'm going to purchase you. We used to go to the redemption center with our book of stamps that we would get from the store. Every time you bought groceries, you got some stamps, and you lick those stamps and you put them in the book, and then you get the catalog and you look at the catalog and you say, that's what I want, and you keep on saving up those books of stamps, and then you would go to the redemption center and you would take your stamps and you said, I want that XYZ there that's on the shelf. Purchase, and God has purchased. I will rescue you from their bondage. I will redeem you with an outstretched arm and with great judgments. You ain't seen nothing yet. I will take you as my people. I will be your God. Then you shall know. Now, you know what? Maybe I shouldn't say this. You ever seen people get baptized in water? I mean, you got people that start showing up, and they start getting excited about the word, and then they want to get baptized in water. So, you counsel them a little bit, talk about it, preach about baptism, what baptism is all about, or what we know that it's all about, and talk to them about baptism, water, biblical. This is what it's about. This is how it's done. Then you get a date, and they get all baptized in water, and they come out with a big old smile on their face. Ooh, I felt the warm fuzzies. Great, great, great. Then all of a sudden, the battle starts, and they forget that the enemy ain't going to let them go that easy. I will take you as my people. I will be your God. Then you shall know that I am Yahweh your God, who brings you out from under the burden of the Egyptians. And I will bring you into a land which I swore to give Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. This isn't a maybe. This is God speaking to Moses. We listen, and on the program, we try to slow down a little bit instead of rushing through the Bible and try to pick up all the gold nuggets and the diamonds along the way. We list you again. What does that mean? I don't know. Is I next to O? Yeah, maybe it could be we lost you again. Let's see if I have any text messages about getting lost or something like that. By strong hand, the only thing Pharaoh will understand is a stronger hand. Thank you, George. I will bring you into the land which I swore to give Abraham, Isaac, Jacob. I will give it to you as a heritage. I am the Lord. So Moses spoke thus to the children of Israel. But they did not heed Moses because of the anguish of spirit and cruel bondage. But you speak it anyway. Oh, yeah, it's easy for you to say, Moses. It's easy for you to come up and you tell us what's going to happen and how it's going to happen. You know, we're the ones that are doing the hard work. We're the ones that are suffering over here. Yeah, we understand that. But tell you what, Moses had his time. See, Moses isn't suffering along with the people. Moses has already had his time of anguish of spirit and cruel bondage. He's already had it before. God has prepared him before. And you know, that's what many people don't understand about leadership. Real leadership has already been through what the people are going through now. Go in. He says, go in and tell Pharaoh, king of Egypt, to let the children of Israel go out of the land. I want you to speak to them. And Moses speaks to the people and tells them about covenant, talks about the land, talks about the Abraham, Isaacs, and Jacobs of the world, and tries to encourage the people. And it's tough. It's tough to receive the encouragement when that heavy hand is on you, but there's a stronger hand. Like George says, there's a stronger hand that's coming. Go in. Tell the Pharaoh, king of Egypt, to let the children of Israel go out of his land. Set my people free. You go in and you say what I have said to you, to Pharaoh, to let the children of Israel go out of this land. Redemption. Moses spoke before the Lord, saying, the children of Israel have not heeded me. How then shall Pharaoh heed me, for I am of uncircumcised lips? Yeah, you know, from an earthly level, Moses, we can understand why you would say what you're saying. But guess what you got in your hand? Moses spoke before the Lord, saying, the children of Israel have not heeded me. How then shall Pharaoh heed me, for I am of uncircumcised lips? And remember, Moses has been using an apparent speech impediment as an excuse before. We what was that, yesterday, day before? I think it could have been Friday because there was Monday. Anyway, that we were looking at Moses. But I can't. Yeah, okay, Moses. We'll send Aaron with you, man. Your brother. Moses spoke before Yahweh, saying, the children of Israel have not heeded me. It takes a while. It takes a while for the seed to bring forth a harvest. And sometimes that seed doesn't fall on good ground. Moses spoke before Yahweh, saying, the children of Israel have not heeded me. How then shall Pharaoh heed me, for I am of uncircumcised lips? I mean, he says, my lips, you know, I'm still, you know, uncircumcised in my lips, God. Then the Lord Yahweh spoke to Moses and Aaron and gave them a command for the children of Israel and for Pharaoh, king of Egypt, to bring children of Israel out of the land of Egypt. Notice how Yahweh is not relenting here. Notice how Yahweh is not saying, okay, well, maybe we'll soften it up a little bit. Maybe we'll change the plan a little bit. Maybe we'll... No. God says, you just keep on saying what I'm telling you, Moses. I'm going to tell you what. God does not need a plan B. There's just, here's what's going to happen. Here's how it's going to happen. Here's where it's going to happen. When it's going to happen. And you just do your job. And sometimes the Moseses of the world make it sound very easy. And maybe sometimes it's just that's what we hear. And that's the way we want to hear it. Then the Lord spoke to Moses and Aaron and gave them a command for the children of Israel and for Pharaoh, king of Egypt, to bring the children of Israel out of the land. So that's where we're headed, ladies and gentlemen. Now, let's finish off. And apparently we're going to finish off early this morning, is by the way it looks, okay? check your batter. We lost you on YouTube. What's my batter? I don't know what my batter is. Check your typing out a little bit, and then we can understand. I'm showing that I have, I got people that are commenting on YouTube. Ability to deliver God's message effectively. Verse 14, chapter 6. These are the heads of their fathers' houses. Now, you notice on the headline that we have over the top of this paragraph here is it talks about the genealogy of Moses and Aaron. So we're going to potentially finish off this chapter looking at this genealogy. It's not the genealogy of all of Israel, okay? It's the genealogy of, what he's trying to show here is he's trying to show that Samuel, no. I don't know why I said Samuel. Aaron and Moses are there. That's what he's trying to show them. He's trying to show them that they are qualified under the covenant to do what God wants to do. Flo says she sees us on YouTube, and she commented on Facebook. And Andrea says that she got me on YouTube. So some people look like they're having problems with it. Not sure exactly what's going on. You see me, but you don't hear me, Flo? Is that possible? I didn't catch it now, but I'm getting full everything that I see over here. Now, these are the heads of the fathers' houses, the sons of Reuben. Reuben was the firstborn of Jacob. Remember, we're looking at 12 tribes, 12 sons, but we're not going to look at all the sons because it's not important. We have to establish that Moses and Aaron are qualified to do what they're doing, that they're not just some people that just stumbled across the border with some big story, that they are under the covenant and that they have a word from the Lord. These are the heads of their fathers' houses. The sons of Reuben, the firstborn of Israel, Hanok, Palu, Hezron, Carmi, these are the families of Reuben. And the sons of Simeon were Jemuel, Jamin, Ohad, Jachin, Zohar, Shaul, the son of a Canaanite woman. These are the families of Simeon. So Simeon was the secondborn. Verse 16, so we've covered son number 1, son number 2 of Jacob, where the 12 tribes come from. Now we go to Levi, son number 3. And that's where the expansion comes because Aaron and Moses are of the tribe of Levi. And Levi is the priestly tribe, just the way that Judah is the kingly tribe. The emphasis and the spotlight is going on the tribe of Levi right now to prove the veracity and the authority what God is doing through priests to be Aaron and his brother Moses. And you say, well, why this? Why now? Yeah, well, to them it was super, super important. They had to know. And the people after, when Moses is writing this, after it happens, and his recollection is right there, and the people had to know that they had the delegated authority to do what they were doing through the power of God. These are the names of the sons of Levi, third son, according to their generations, Gershon, Kohath, and Merari. We will see some of these names later, okay, as some of the courses of priests that are going to be happening, okay, because the priesthood is going to continue all the way through David and through the kings. The priesthood is going to continue. especially as there's going to be a tabernacle and then a temple. And the years of the life of Levi were 137 years. The sons of Gershon were Libni and Shimei, according to their families. And the sons of Kohath were Amram, Izhar, Hebron, Uzziel, and the years of the life of Kohath were 133. Well, why didn't we talk about Reuben and his sons and get his grandsons? And why did we talk about Adam? Because we're showing them that the priest, the lineage of the priest, by the time Moses is writing this, there's already a tabernacle. There's already a priesthood. We have an Abraham, and then we have his sons that are following in when Aaron passes away as high priest. Because they're going to serve, his sons are going to serve as priests under Daddy Abraham till he passes away. No, Daddy Aaron, until he passes away. The sons of Kohath were Amram. Well, I don't have to do that. Sons of Merari. Verse 19, he says, the sons of Merari, and I'm making up the pronunciation of these names, okay, the best that I can, throw a little bit of chicharron on there. The sons of Merari were Mali and Mushi. Yeah. Oh, they're the twins. They sound like they're twins. I don't know if they are or not. I shouldn't say it, but imagine being at school and your twin brother's name Mushi. And what's your name? Mali. Ooh, okay. These are the families, and probably if we looked up the etymology of the name, we'd be surprised. Because these names weren't just thrown out there. These are the families of Levi according to their generations. See, notice how we're looking at Levi. We're expanding and really putting the spotlight on the tribe of Levi. Amram took for himself Jochebed, his father's sister, as wife, and she bore him Aaron and Moses. So he, now see how we're doing. Aaron and Moses are of the tribe of Levi, and you can follow their trail. Although you're going to look at, I think it's the beginning of the book of Matthew and the beginning of the book of Luke, and you're going to see the genealogy from different lineages all the way to Jesus, qualifying him to be Messiah. Now, Aaron, I keep saying Abraham. Aaron and Moses are not messiahs, but they're kind of standing as deliverers, and God is using them and giving them that delegated authority that we're talking about. Amram took for himself Jochebed, his father's sister, as wife. She bore him Aaron and Moses, and the years of the life of Amram were 137 years. The sons of Izhar were Korah, Nepheg, and Zikri. The sons of Uzziel were Mishael, and Elzaphan, and Zithri. Aaron took to himself Elisheba, the daughter of Abinadab, the sister of Nashon, his wife, and she bore him Nadab, Abihu, Eleazar, and Ithamar. So these are the sons of Aaron who married a Levite woman. Okay, so they weren't from another tribe. Not that that was a bad thing, but for the priesthood, it was something that was important, that Aaron marries a Levite woman, and we have these sons, Nadab, Abihu, Eleazar, and Ithamar, because they were going to continue. There you go. Look at what Jeff says. Merari means bitter, and Mali means sick. Now we can talk about him in the schoolyard. Thanks, Jeff. Aaron took to himself Elisheba, and she bore him Nadab, Abihu, Eleazar, and Ithamar. Now, what's happening here, oh my God, is it time already? What's happening here is that we're getting to know these people and their family and their lineage, to know that they're qualified to do what they're doing. And it's Aaron's sons. These are the same Aaron and Moses to whom the Lord said, bring out the children of Israel from the land of Egypt according to their armies. Okay? These are the ones. We're not making a mistake. It wasn't just we didn't have anybody, so we picked these guys. No, these are the ones. Same Moses, same Aaron, same tribe. And there's the lineage. If anyone says, well, I don't know where these guys came from, well, we're going to tell you where these are the ones whom spoke to Pharaoh, king of Egypt, to bring out the children of Israel from Egypt. These are the same Moses and Aaron. And it came to pass on the day that Yahweh spoke to Moses in the land of Egypt, that the Lord spoke to Moses, saying, I am Yahweh. Speak to Pharaoh, king of Egypt, all that I say to you. Purpose. You realize that there is purpose, and you realize that the details, you discover deeper purpose of what God is doing. And we do not even have a Levite tribe right now when we're talking to. We do not have a priesthood because we don't have a tabernacle. But in the wilderness, all of this is going to come out. And it came to pass, verse 28. It came to pass on the day that Yahweh spoke to Moses in the land of Egypt, that Yahweh spoke to Moses, saying, I am Yahweh. Not some river god, not some frog god, not some termite god, not some serpent god. I am Yahweh. Speak to Pharaoh, king of Egypt, all that I say to you. But Moses said before the Lord, behold, I am of uncircumcised lips. How shall Pharaoh heed me? I didn't even go to school. I was just barely, nobody knows my name and who I am and what am I going to do and how am I going to do it? And I'm going to say, don't you worry about that, man. It's God. It's God. Anyway, we have to close off early. As I've told you already, I'm going to check my text one more time. Nobody has has stepped up and said, I'll take the shift. So it looks like I'm going to be trying my best there at the coffee shop this morning. God bless you all. Put your bookmark on Exodus chapter 7, verse 1, and that's where we will be tomorrow. Anybody want to make cappuccinos and fraps and all that stuff today? I'm not sure you want me to do it. God bless you all. Have a great rest of your day. Thank you for watching, and put your bookmark there.